Hey everyone, this is part 2 of my two-part video series, you could call it, I suppose, on what's in my kit. This time we're going to talk about what's in my professional kit. Now I do want to mention before we start, before this video I actually completely went through my kit. I destashed a whole bunch of stuff. You're going to see I don't have very many eyeshadow palettes, for example. That's because I'm in the process. Trends are changing, so I'm getting some of them out of there and gonna be resupplying and so on. But yeah, so this, oh my gosh, this is my professional kit. There's so much more in here than my personal stuff. There's also like a bunch of boring stuff like paperwork, so that's mainly what this is for. But anyway, we will start with that bag since it's easier. Holy crap. And you can see the menace up here. He if I yell at him, sorry. Anyway, so yes, so the first thing is just this bag. It's got some odds and ends, some of my bigger stuff. This I just put, like, if I know I have a big job, I like to pre-select the makeup I'm going to need for people and put it in that, mostly for bridesmaids and so on. Paperwork. The rest of this is a bunch of different brush kits, as you can see. I've color coded them. It makes it easier for like when I have to wash all of these after a big job, and you know, I just don't know what goes where if they're all black. So instead I make it a point to color coordinate my brushes to their cases, so I know I could just grab something in a hurry. So yes, these ones are black, but they've got pink tips on them. Same here, they've got like a blue sparkly. These ones are black. These are my Aveda brushes, and these ones are red. Here, I'll just show them off. See? I don't know if I showed these ones or not. I think I did, but these are just plain black to go with the plain black case. Yeah, so that's why I've got these. One of my friends made these. She's got an Etsy shop. Shoot, what is the Etsy shop? It's Jojo Banana, I believe. So if you like those, go ahead and see if she'll make some custom for you. But anyway, so those are the brushes. I've got a lot of different types of brushes in here. Like, for example, these are the ones I've had for forever. These are the ones that really I use on most people. I like using the synthetic brushes more so than animal hair. I just find that it distributes better for a better price point. But yeah, if you've worked with me, you've probably seen these. The Aveda brushes, these I like to use more for like Mother of the Bride and so on. They're incredible brushes. They're falling all over the place. You can see they've also got that same type of, well, you can't really tell just by looking at it, but they do. They also have the same type of bristles on them, and these are really good. These are probably the highest quality brushes I own. They also don't have as much variety in terms of brush shapes and so on, so I've just got that one set. These two are crown brushes. If you know anything about crown, like, they're okay. They're not my favorite brushes, but they do get the job done. And here I got some brushes that I didn't have in my other kit. Like, for example, you can see this one has, it's a fluffy one, but it's got kind of an angle to it, and this guy is a really big fluffy smudger. So I've had fun with those, and you know, I don't know if I would buy more from Crown specifically, but they do get the job done, and I'm happy with them. No one's ever complained. I've never found a reason to complain, but I just don't like, I guess, the way they feel. So that's just my opinion on those. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 sets of brushes. That way, you know, if I have an average size wedding party, I don't have to worry about washing them in between, which takes so much time. And anyway, now we are going to get into this enormous thing. It's very heavy. I guess I shouldn't say enormous. It's just, well, it's heavy, and there is a lot in here that I've packed in. I want one of those really big ones, but for now this works, you know. So anyway, we're gonna start really fast with the disposables. I've got a thing of wedges here. Don't normally use them. I just don't, but I've got them for just in case. Like, if you need to do a runway show with like 20 different girls, you're gonna be using these. Cotton rounds. Gotta be able to do, you know, use the cotton rounds. Band-aids, you never know what's gonna happen on set. Got some big body powder brushes here. I've got an old bag of Q-tips here. I mean, the Q-tips aren't old, they're just the bag looks gross, but Q-tips are great for like, you know, removing fallout or something, instead of like if it happens on makeup you've already done, it's nice to just be able to swipe over. These are actually clear hair ties. You never know who's gonna forget a hair tie or what. These are just empty little pots, various colors, because I couldn't find clear. So yeah, that's the disposables. It's kind of like a clown car getting things in and out of here, but so I guess I'll do the rest of that later. The other side of this is liquids. You know, not like makeup stuff per se, but liquids. For washing brushes, this is really the only thing I use to wash brushes. I don't like expensive brush cleansers because you never know what's gonna happen. You know, if you've got a million different types of brush, then it's gonna work for some and not for others. Some will dry, some will have a greasy residue. It's gross. Like when you have a greasy residue from one of those expensive ones, and you go to do makeup on someone and it doesn't work, it's like, it's embarrassing too. It's not just gross, it's embarrassing. This cleans it, does the job every time. You don't have to worry about anything like that. It's cheap, it's easy. Who likes, you know, who doesn't like cheap and easy? Anyway, alcohol, obviously, for cleaning things up. Almay, it's makeup remover. You don't need a fancy pants makeup remover as long as it works. Got a few things here that I need to throw away. Nail polish remover. You never know who's gonna come showing up to a shoot or their senior photos or their wedding or something with like, usually it doesn't happen for weddings, but like you never know who's gonna show up for a shoot and they've got like half chipped off really weird color nail polish and you're doing like florals or something, like I don't know. Anyway, so Ben Nye Final Seal. This is just for spritzing over the face after everything is taken care of to make sure that it stays. It's great for brides, it's great for like really hot days, very oily skin. Same with this stuff is amazing. This is Skin Prep Pro. This is the only primer I really use because I find as long as you're using a decent moisturizer, you don't need to worry about a primer. I know a lot of people disagree with me on that, but a lot of people do agree with me as well, you know, professionals and just makeup enthusiasts alike. I know it's not popular right now because primers are this fun thing, but you really don't need them most of the time. So that's just my take on that. But yes, this you will need for like, if you're going underwater with your makeup or like you've got horribly greasy skin and you are going to be, it's a hot day, you know, or you're under stage lights. I use this all the time for stage. That's actually why I picked it up at first, because I have only had one person sweat through that, and he was a very sweaty, oily male, so go figure. So that's that. Now we can get into the fun part, the actual makeup. The actual makeup, I like to keep things divided in these little bags here. The only one I've got that's not clear is this one, and this is because this is my special one for bridesmaids makeup. I have a little packet here. I went out and purchased this. We might as well start with it. Specifically for bridesmaids, because you find that the bride is going to want the same look pretty much every time, kind of dewy but finished, polished, still beautiful, kind of light, and she wants everyone to look cohesive. So I went out and I spent bank on a bunch of products that look good on pretty much everyone or can be made to look good on pretty much everyone. Of course, you know, everyone's going to be wearing an appropriate skin makeup. I'm talking about things that you really can. There are some products you can use on everyone. The first one's very obvious. This is the NARS Orgasm Blush. I got this really big size when it was on promotion, and I do not regret that at all. Everyone knows what this looks like, but I mean, I'm going to show it anyway. It comes with this cute little film over it, so that's always kind of fun. The other thing about bridal makeup is, you know, it is nice to have some higher end stuff in your kit, even, you know, something that the bride and the bridesmaids recognize. You know, it's always nice to see something that you recognize. So that's that, and this looks good on every skin tone. I have yet to find, the beauty industry has yet to find a person that this does not look good on. So I mean, that just means I can take everyone and, you know, I can just wipe out. Powders are very easy to clean. You know, if you want to scrape it, you can do that as well. But Oh, it won't go back in the box. Okay, so that's that. And all of the, yes, all of these things are easy to either clean or take out, you know, in a way that's not going to contaminate it. Like this, for example, I just line all the girls up at the end. This is also the NARS Orgasm color. This is the lip gloss. I find that I typically like to just line their lips with either a warm tone or cool tone, kind of a nude shade, and then let them go about their business. And then right at the end, I just line everyone up and I hand each of them like a palette, and I just wipe a little bit of this on each palette, you know, no cross-contamination there, and they each have their own little lip applicator, and I use that. But in any case, so yeah, that's that. So that's NARS Orgasm Blush and lip gloss, and I love them, and I actually covet my kit for that reason, but I never dip into those. Those aren't for me. If I need that, I can buy it for myself. Black eyeliner. You're gonna want black eyeliner anytime there's photography. This guy is interesting. This is a brow pencil that looks good on everyone. It's a universal eye. Okay, it's by IT Cosmetics. Yes, it's called Universal Taupe. That's the actual color. Brow Power Waterproof Perfector, clinically proven 5-in-1 powder gel pencil. And I really like this. You have to have a really light hand for blondes. For me, I've got to have a really light hand. I remember swatching, like testing this and being like, holy brows, like, I guess the Brits call them scouse brows. And I definitely had them that day. So you've got to have a light hand, you know, depending on what hair type or color people have. The other thing that I have, it's kind of, the powder's kind of gotten everywhere, but like it is clean. This is the Too Faced Natural Eyes Neutral Eyeshadow Collection. This is nice because you've got some cools, you've got some warms, you've got some shimmers, you've got some matte. It's a very basic but beautiful palette, and it works for pretty much any season, so for bridesmaids. So that's that. Let's see, the next thing we will look at, why not? This bag pretty empty right now. I keep my mascaras in here. If you've worked with me before, you know that whenever I work with someone, I give away the mascara to them. That's because I don't like those mascara, those really cheap disposable mascara brushes. They don't do as good a job as what's been sitting marinating in the mascara itself. A lot of makeup artists are with me on this, and I use Maybelline. This is something that is from the drugstore that I do keep in my kit. I find for the price point, I'm giving them away. They work just as well. I'm wearing some Maybelline without lashes today. You know, you can do lashes if you need, but like, these work fine. They really do. You can't tell the difference between this and a higher end mascara unless you're talking the Urban Decay Subversion Perversion, but that's just a whole other world, and I wouldn't use that on a bride, for example, anyway, or prom or something like that, because it's not waterproof. You always want waterproof for if you're going outside on a hot day, or, you know, for longevity, you want waterproof. So this is usually stocked, but it's not right now. Pencils, a bajillion pencils, all different sorts of colors and types, and this is lip pencils, eye pencils, brow pencils. I've got more pencils here. Just these are my colorful ones for like when people want a crazy color in a shoot, or like a fashion shoot or prom or something. So that's that. One thing that I did forget about, I had it out for some reason, that does go in this kit as well, is this universal powder. It's the Ben Nye Neutral Set Colorless Powder. I just got it in this small one because I've got other powders, you know, I didn't want an enormous thing of this. I actually like the pressed powder that's in my kit that I'll show you. I've talked about it before. I like that a little bit better than this, but it really depends also on the foundation you're using. I find that for the professional foundations I use, this works beautifully. So, but for every day, I like the other one better. But yeah, so that's that. Let's see. This is full of tools. I've got a lot of disposables in here, you know, the disposable spoolies. I've got my eyelash glue and tweezers in there. Regular tweezers, empty pans for like if I need to give someone a lip sample, a lip color for some reason, then I can just use one of these empty pans and put some in there, if you can see that. Yeah, lots of boring stuff that's absolutely technically necessary. On the other side here, you can see that that's my palette. That's great. You put stuff on that more than you would you know, for cleanliness factors. You don't need it for every day, but like for me, yeah, I do need it. This, we are getting down to the bottom, believe it or not. This is my creams, a lot of creams in here. This is mostly facial. Let's see, let's start. There's a lot of stuff in here. There's also lip in here, so this is gonna take a hot second. And I've got lots of stuff in here. Like I've got a few samples. I'm not huge on like eyeshadow primers. I feel that, and I've found that actually, if you're using high quality products in terms of foundation, concealer, powder, you don't need an eyeshadow foundation. An eyeshadow primer, especially if the shadows that you're using are actually worth it. If you're using a drugstore product, something that's maybe not as pigmented, something that's buildable and you don't have that time to build it up, yeah, maybe, but so I've got like this guy. It's a sample from Urban Decay that I've never used. I don't normally put samples in my kit, but if they're tried and true, then yes, I absolutely will. I've got 2 of these. These are they're the deluxe sample size. I haven't needed to buy a full size because every time I go to buy a full size, they've got these on promo, so I just pick one up. But this concealer is great for a lot of different skin tones. You can see it's mostly used up in this one. I've got one I haven't even touched here. Cat hair. Not on this, on me. Anyway, so yeah, this I use on anyone who's light to medium skin tone. I find it works on everyone. It's beautiful for photography. If you have a darker skin tone, I'm going to use something else on you, and we'll get into that in a second. Let's see. Color corrector that's not green for redness. It works beautifully also. It's by Redness Neutralizing Correcting Cream. It's by It Cosmetics, and I've never seen anything like this before. So, well, in terms of green-ish, you know, toned color correctors, you can see it's kind of a tan, so you've got to be careful who you use it on. I'm not sure why it's this dark color, since people who have redness in their skin are usually extremely fair toned, fair colored. I don't understand that, but whatever. I put it underneath, I put the right color foundation on top, and it works fine. Let's see. I got some of these Face Atelier foundations. I never use them. I'm very happy with my RCMA. I've used these maybe once, twice. They're okay. I know other people are like gasping. People are falling all over themselves. Like they're supposed to be one of the best foundations you can get in the industry, in the professional makeup industry. I like these better. They're easier. They make more sense to me. And you've got every color here. This is my cool tone palette. Very easy. This is my warm tone palette, also very easy. You've got every shade there that you would ever need. And then these are great. You can thin them out, you can use them full strength, and you can use these as a concealer or a cream highlighter contour as well. You don't need anything else. These are just, they're epic, and they're tiny, but such a little amount goes such a long way. I have a few singles of these as well. It just kind of depends on what I run out of first. There is one color in my warm tone palette that I do want to get. Well, actually, it's not even in the palette. It's the darkest shade that you can get from RCMA, and it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. In West Michigan, you don't need that color very often, but I want it in my kit anyway. I want a complete kit, so that is something that I do want to get. In this palette, no, that's not the right one. In this palette, you see, this is pretty dark. This is pretty dark, but there's one that's just like for that really like blue-black skin that just I die over because it's so pretty, and I just want to work on that skin more. And I don't get much of an opportunity, but so this is the darkest, but there is one color that's even darker. I do want to get one of these singles of it, but I mean, we'll get there eventually. I can't have everything. I should have everything. It's probably one of the things I'm going to get in my restock, but we will find out. Anyway, these guys, going back to these are, I work on a lot of really fair-toned ladies just because in this area with the demographic I'm working with, there's a lot of Dutch, a lot of German, you know, quite a few Irish, and you know, we're pretty, I'm half Irish, half kind of German, Eastern European. I'm translucent. I don't know if you can see that, but like it's pretty bad. So we run out of these pretty quickly. You could see my cool tone palette is very dug into. But yeah, so I've got whoops, I've got several of those. So that's those. I have this one foundation. It's Yuli. It's an Israeli brand. It's an Israeli house brand made by a former Miss Israel. I acquired it somehow. I don't use it very much. I find it to be oily. I do know that after I got this, she did reformulate. I don't even know if she's still around, but Nicole Halpern is the actual name. But so I keep it for just in case. It is like a nice light to medium warm toned color. Yeah, I have a few color correctors here. This I use all the time. I repotted it. I melted it down and put it in this pot just for cleanliness factor. It's just a straight up yellow color corrector for, you know, if you have little baggies under the eyes that I can't get with regular concealer and you do genuinely need a color corrector, I will use this. I want to get one of those color correcting wheels from a higher ended brand than this. This is the NYX palette. I just picked it up because I had heard good things about it. I'm actually not a huge fan of this brand. I'm just going to put that out there. And I know like everyone's like, my 22 subscribers are all unsubscribing right now. I'm sorry, I just don't like the texture of this. I find that their creams, I'm going to try their powders, but like their creams that I've tried, including this, I find that these pans are ridiculously shallow. I swatched all of them obviously, and then I dipped into the yellow once or twice and I'm already hitting pan. I don't think that's a good buy. I don't think that's a good deal. And I think that there's too much mineral oil in these cream products, including the round lipsticks. I have not had good, I don't like the texture. It goes on streaky. It's like there is pigment in them, and that's why I keep this, because it does have pigment. It's got the weird colors, you know, in case I need a lavender, you know, I've got one here. But you know, once I just don't find that I need color correctors on very many people. I'm working on a lot of teenagers, to be quite honest. So usually I just need green or yellow. But yeah, I do have this for just in case. It is nice to have for just in case. If it were a terrible product, I would not keep it in my kit. So don't worry about that. You know, I personally wouldn't recommend it, but a lot of people do. And yeah, like I said, I have it for just in case. I will use it just in case, but whatever. Waxing non-poetic about the waxy NYX. But anyway, yeah, like I said, I am actually going to be trying some of their powders. I hear that their eyeshadows are absolutely to die for, and I can't wait. They've got a Brights palette that I'm going to look at, and if that Brights palette impresses me, both off and on camera, then who knows, maybe I just saved myself a bunch of money on some sort of really trendy color that I have to replace anyway. So otherwise I'll probably just get some Ben Nye. But anyway, so this is my Graftobian lip palette. This is primarily what I use on set or in real life for, you know, brides and so on. You can see there's a lot of different colors here. I would like to get another lip palette. This is, it's great. It does what I need it to. I would just like some trendier lip colors. I do have my two main colors, my two main nudes that I use in regular round lipstick, so to speak, form. This is the Cool Tone. I don't know if you can kind of see that. Yeah, it's a really beautiful color. I use these on my brides all the time. This one's just called Nude. And then this one is the warmer one. It's called Kiss Me. You can see that there. Also a beautiful color. I do. I really like these lipsticks. I honestly kind of wish I had one of these for myself, but realistically speaking, I wouldn't use it as much as I like to think I would, so whatever. I've got a few other colors here, just random ones that I've picked up. I don't even know what brand these are. These were a private brand, but you know, they're colors that maybe I didn't have in that palette and I don't feel like mixing up all the time, you know, and they're fine. They're from a private brand. I'm not huge on private brands. Maybe I will be some, you know, later in life, but for now I'm not. But these ones worked fine, so I'm not going to throw it out just because it was a private brand. This is a Bobbi Brown. This is another Bobbi Brown. Again, colors that I wouldn't necessarily have. This one this one is kind of rough. I've had to wipe it several times, but so this one's kind of a raisin color. And then this one, I don't even know what this is. Yeah, it's kind of this like, it's this metallic kind of coppery. Who knows? Maybe we'll find someone who wants to use it. Anyway, yeah, so that's the creams. I'm just going to pop all of those back in the bag. Yeah, I think that's all. Yep, that's all the creams. And that's most of it. Like, I'm going to show you my powders next, and that's pretty much the end of my professional kit. Now, like I said, I am going to be going out and getting more things for this kit because trends do change. You've got to keep it up. This is very expensive. This is not one of those things that you go into because you think it's going to be a fast buck. You go into it, you go to school for it, you build up a kit that in some people's cases hundreds of thousands of dollars. This is not there, but it is in the thousands. I should do that math sometime. Maybe I should do a video on, I don't know, maybe. We'll find out. We'll figure that out later, but that would be fun. I want to know exactly how much this kit costs because like people would choke. Anyway, so the last thing is going to be powders. This is one of the things that I'm not sure if it's an absolute disaster right now. See, I keep it wrapped up in this. These are these are loose pigments. They're nothing but pigment powder and glitter. And they're incredible color, but I never use them because look how messy it is. So I'm thinking about getting rid of it because it's just, I have to keep it wrapped up. I don't know. What do you guys think? I have been avoiding messing with those because like, I wish they came in a pressed powder form. Oh my gosh, it's everywhere. A pressed powder format, but they don't, and so they're very messy, and I've tried repotting them into better containers and they just get everywhere. It's like I actually got those in the Middle East. I don't even know what brand they are. They were a private brand, and they just happen to work really well, but I mean I haven't touched them in years, so if they're so messy and they're such a problem on set, I'm probably never going to, so I guess that's just my thing on that. But anyway, all of that aside, I got rid of, like I said, most of my colorful eyeshadow because like I said, trends change. That Urban Decay palette that I showed you in the other video, I'm not putting that back in. I had it in this kit momentarily for like a few clients that I knew wanted a weird color, but I'm not putting that back in because there are different colors and shades and textures that people are more into now for the colorful stuff that came out on the spring-summer 2017 runway. So I am going to be replacing the colorful stuff. So what you're going to be seeing here is primarily nudes, but I do have this. This I mostly put in a different palette. This is a La Femme palette. I actually took most of these out of here. The great thing about the La Femme palettes, it's a professional brand. There are a lot of great things about these palettes, but one of the things that I like is that since this is so honkin', it's pretty big. It doesn't fit into like this, you can see. So you can actually take it, it's a magnetic palette. You can take these things out. I've obviously taken most of them out. This was a weird palette. It came in a kit that I purchased when I wanted to get a bunch of higher end stuff just all at one go, and to try a bunch of new things. These were the only really like brights or colors in this palette. Everything else was a neutral. So I actually just sorted that out. I want to get another Z palette to put my brights in, but so these are 4 bright random La Femme colors. I do like them. I don't use these very often. The La Femme in general, just because they were all mishmashed in here, and I like having a palette where, you know, all of these colors are going to look good together for when I'm in a super huge rush or something. So I put the rest of them in here. Obviously Z palette, like I said, I need to get a few more of these. You can see most of these are like, these ones are all the La Femme. These were, again, that private brand. I do have a few things from the private brand, but like most of it is not, and I've swatched them numerous times because I'm always like, I should get rid of that. I don't even know what brand it is, but they continue to be reliable, so whatever. Also La Femme. This is a matte and this is a pearl, that's why I keep both of those around. This guy I think was a Stila color, and it's beautiful. But yeah, so now this is mostly mattes with a little bit of shimmer. This works better for maybe a more mature skin tone, or if you're doing something where you need it to look much more natural, you need something subtle. Yeah, so mostly, you know, not trendy eyeshadow there. This one, yep, I showed you that one. This, these are my other two neutral palettes. You recognize both of them. They're both pretty beat up, especially this guy. This is the original Naked palette. Obviously more of a warm tone, but you can use it on both skin tones, which is great. It's a very fun palette to have around the, when I'm doing senior portraits, I'll use this sometimes. This is the one I actually use the most. I almost didn't get this because I thought it was so gimmicky. I was looking for a palette that would work better for my teenagers because I did only have like these, and that's kind of boring, you know, when you're a teenager and you want something fun but still beautiful for your senior portraits. And like I said, I do a lot of senior portraits, so I ended up getting this one. There went that. I ended up getting this one because it does have a few extra colors. It has some shimmers, it has some mattes, and it works on almost everyone. I have used this on teenagers. I have used this on people my age. I have used this, I had a woman come in, she was in her 70s, and she was doing business portraits for her website. And this woman's amazing, right? But she's in her 70s. She had your typical skin for that age, and I was able to use these on her. And I stuck mostly to the mattes, and I put maybe one satin in there very carefully. She looked amazing. I was so shocked because I didn't have this one on me, and I was freaking out. Like, I don't even know how that happened, and it will never happen again. But like, this worked for her, and I was so happy with that. So I mean, even though I thought it was trendy, it ended up being the best bet. So those are all of my eyeshadows right now. Like I said, I'm gonna restock. Anyway, I do have a few other things. This is my other La Femme palette. This is pretty much the only blush palette you're ever going to need. It is extremely pigmented. You do not want to use this if you're not a professional. Or like, if you don't know what you're doing, if you are so good with makeup that you might as well just open a makeup school, even though you never went maybe. But like, check this out. Like, okay, this, I'll show you one of these lighter colors. Like, I'll show you this cool pink. I don't know if you can see that. That's the finger swatch. It's pretty intense. And then if you go all the way to the other end of the spectrum, look at this red. It's literally, these are nothing but pigment. This is ridiculous, you know, like you can see. So you've got to have such a light brush with this, and like I dip it in once very tentatively and like tap it off a million times before even going in. You can always build it up. It's much harder to take away this. You can't take, if you've done that your entire, so yeah, don't use this palette unless you're a professional or you totally know what you're doing. Okay, that's one of the big differences between professional makeup and like higher end makeup. I'm just gonna wipe this off on this thing because like it's messy anyway. Ooh, look at all that. This is after wiping it off. Anyway, that's gonna have to come off with soap and water. Powders, we're almost done. I have this powder. This is my Holy Grail powder. It's the Camera Ready Cosmetics Oil Control Blotting Powder. It's the one that looks like clown makeup. I swear this looks good on everyone. I've never had an issue with this on anyone, and I've done all sorts of skin colors and types. It's great for, like if you have very dry skin, then I'm going to be using probably this one. This is a, these are translucents, but you know, other than that, like this looks good on every skin color. I haven't had a problem with anyone on camera or otherwise. So these ones are also Camera Ready Cosmetics. The loose powders, this one is butternut. It's this gorgeous color. These are not chalky at all. These are, I don't know if you can see that. That's okay. We're not tipping this any further because I would have to pay to get this carpet replaced. But yeah, you can kind of see this is a phenomenal color. I'm just gonna close that tentatively. I mean, this is again the lightest shade. I haven't found I need any other powders other than these three powders, to be quite honest. This one is just your typical translucent shade for white girls. My last thing is my highlighter. I only have one highlighter in my kit. I find I don't need anything else for the work that I do. I do photography makeup, film makeup, it's the same type of stuff. And then I will do events in terms of like bridal or prom. And no one's gonna want, except for maybe prom, I might get a crazy highlighter for prom this year because that is a big trend, but no one's gonna want like a metallic thing on their cheek for their wedding, or for photography. That would never work. So this is actually a believe it or not, an NYC eyeshadow, like a kid's eyeshadow. I had this in a different container in my other video, and I just find that it works beautifully. It gives a great color, it gives a great sheen without being over the top. This is one of those things that I would use personally and professionally. And the thing about highlighter is it's supposed to be reflective, so I wasn't worried about trying it, you know, and it ended up, it just perks up everyone, and it's great, and it works for every skin tone. I've used this carefully, of course, but I've used this even on like more mature skin, and I've never had a problem with it. It's phenomenal. Love it. So that's cheap and easy. The thing about a makeup kit professionally is you're going to find that stuff like this, and those I already put them away, but the RCMA, they don't have expensive packaging. It's functional, but it's not expensive. It doesn't look high-end, unlike this. You know, this, a lot of marketing, you pay for marketing with this, you pay for the packaging with this, the design, the fancy pants names of the eyeshadows. All of that is going to be why this is more expensive than this, because this is marketed to a consumer, this is marketed to a working makeup artist. And like I said, obviously those finger swatches are still there. You're going to have a lot of products that you need to know how to use excess pigment properly. I would never try and market this to a consumer. It's just not a product that you're going to be happy with. And so there's a lot of differences. The reason that I would need this as a professional versus what I would use on myself just for play, you know, or for everyday or whatever, is because these are formulated in a way that will look good under ridiculous circumstances. If you are on film, if you're in a blockbuster film, this is what they're going to be using. If you are on stage, this is what you're going to be using. If you are just in a wedding, you know, I can tailor the look of your blush, for example, or your eyeshadow or whatever, based on how much pigment is in these things, to what you want. You don't need that for every day. You don't want that for every. So there are a lot of differences based on how you need your makeup to perform and what venue you're going to be in. So it's absolutely true. What I wear if I'm going to be working on camera is going to be completely different than what I'm going to wear if I'm just running to the store. Like, I'm not going to put on this much makeup just to go to the store. Maybe some days when I'm feeling sassy. But anyway, so yes, it all comes down to performance and what you need the product to do and for how long, and if you need to work it on, you need it to work on all skin tones and types or just one particular skin tone or type. That's going to be your big difference. That's one of the many reasons I've got two completely different kits, and I hardly ever, I don't dip into my professional kit. You know, that's just not something people, you can do it, like, if you are really big on cleanliness, typically you don't want to do it. You know, obviously, like, my germs aren't any different than anyone else's germs. You're going to kill germs no matter what, either way. But, like, I just typically don't like to do that. So it is nice to be able to play with the trendier, maybe name brand stuff for myself. And then if I like it enough and it tests out perfectly and it lasts all day and it works on my mom too, yeah, then I might consider getting an extra one, like a second one, and putting it in my kit. But yeah, so now I feel like I'm rambling, but I just really wanted to show you the difference, because most people don't know the difference, and that's understandable. I don't know anything about cars, like, you know, and so people who don't go to school for this maybe aren't going to know. Or, you know, I say go to school, I mean, like, go to school, have a mentor with a professional, you know, whatever it is that you need to do to become an actual professional, you know what I mean. So, but yeah, like, people aren't going to know that off the top of their head, and I think that a lot of people are like, well, I want to use professional products. It's very hard to differentiate in the general public, professional versus high-end. I think that you would be very disappointed for the most part if you bought one of these and you were unaware of, like, the pigmentation, for example. These things are ridiculous. They're great. They work really well, but not for everyday use, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's the only That's the reason I'm doing this, basically. So yeah, that is pretty much it. I am going to run to the store now in my makeup, right? We just talked about that. And so anyway, I hope you liked this video. I know I talked a lot and rambled a lot about a lot of different things. But yeah, let me know what kind of a video you do want to see from me, because I am just kind of dipping my toes into everything right now, as well as continuing to play with lighting. And obviously I've sat here for the past few videos, but well, I'm working on it, but you know, like, just kind of playing right now. Let me know, give me some feedback, let me know what you would like to see, excuse me, versus what maybe you don't want to see more of. And yeah, maybe let's all just give a round of applause to the Menace, because he was actually great for this video. So anyway, bye guys. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and yeah, bye.